Hi, and welcome to The Curling Show, the podcast that brings you interviews with the sport's top athletes and the people who shape the game. I'm Dean Gemmel, and in this edition, we talked with the always honest Randy Ferbey. All right, thanks for being on the show, Randy. I appreciate your time. Now, you told me that you've listened to every edition of The Curling Show and found them interesting at times, so I'm counting on you to make this show one of those times.
Well, I'm going to try my best.
All right. Hey, your team had a great season on the cash trail and ended the season pretty strong, winning the last two Grand Slams, including the Players' Championship in Calgary. How big were those wins, and did they help erase memories of the trials in the Alberta Provincials?
Well, not altogether. We pride ourselves on doing well at every event, and even though it's very difficult to do that, we were satisfied with the way we ended the year, even though we really didn't prepare for those two events the way we normally would prepare because they were sort of late in the year, especially the Players' Championship, where we had 5 weeks off before we went there. So it was unexpected, but it sort of finished off on a high note. We were quite pleased with that, but we've forgotten about the trials already and the Alberta Playdowns, because we know it's very difficult to win those things, and we're just sort of getting on with in preparation for the next 4 years and next year with the Alberta Playdowns.
You and the Ultima World Curling Tour, for that matter, actually were pretty blunt about some of the problems created by the late date for the Players' Championship. And you just mentioned one there, that you had a bit of time off and you thought maybe some teams didn't have their A games. What I do find encouraging is that the TV numbers were still strong, even if the attendance at the corral was off. Now, I believe in and support the tour, but what do you think has to be done to create a bit more magic at these Grand Slam events?
It's easy to look at the events after and criticize them. They made a great effort to build a super bonspiel in Calgary. It's at the corral. End of the year, it's a big curling community, so I don't fault them for that. Other than it was plus 25 weather, we never played for a while. Calgary Flames were in a Stanley Cup run at the time, so it was pretty difficult to get people there. But like I said, it's easy to criticize them after. What they got to do, I think they just got to continue doing what they're doing. They're doing a great job, and sooner or later, all these things are going to click at one time, and it's going to be very, very successful.
Yeah, I think just a couple of events, a couple of times when the slams really do have some extra drama, and I think we'll get more fans engaged in them. But I am encouraged by the TV numbers, so I think the guys are doing a great job.
Absolutely.
Hey, your comments following the Players' Championship made it pretty obvious that you took a little extra satisfaction in winning that event. I think you said you told people where they could stick it or something at that point. But
it's kind of funny how you guys find those things out. No, that wasn't directed at the masses. It was directed at one or two individuals who will remain nameless, that really hasn't given us, or a couple people that haven't given us credit, I guess, over the years for our successes. And it's kind of like a touche to them now that we've sort of won a slam event, won a Players' Championship, won a World Championship, and we know in our own minds that we're a very successful team, and most people are behind us except for one or two individuals, and it's kind of just, maybe it was just a little cheap shot directed at these people, but whether they deserve it or not, I just felt it was appropriate at the time to say it.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with being quotable, Randy. Don't stop doing that.
Yeah.
Hey, big changes for your crosstown rival, Kevin Martin and his team. I'm going to bet that, like most of us, you knew changes were in the air, but is there anything about the new lineup that surprised you? Well,
I'm surprised Carter Rycroft's not with him again. Absolutely, Carter's been with him through thick and thin. And I think Carter's just a great curler. He's given Kevin Martin 100% every time he plays. He works hard. He's a great player. So to see him leave was a little bit of a surprise. But at the same time, if a skip feels that they can't win or he can't win with his existing players, then he's got no choice but to make a change. I don't fault Kevin Martin for making a change. That's up to him, and he's got to live with himself, and hopefully in his mind he's done it for the right reasons.
Do you think they'll play out of Calgary or Edmonton?
Who knows with those guys. It wouldn't surprise me if they come up to Edmonton and play. I heard rumor that Kevin Cooey's going to be moving to Edmonton also possibly, so Edmonton's sort of getting real strong real fast again here, so it's going to be difficult no matter where they play out of.
You talk about Kevin making a change, and your team has been together now about the longest of any of the top teams, I think, and you're committed again to playing together until 2010. What do you think accounts for the reason that your team sticks together so well?
You know what? There is only one reason. We are super great friends on and off the ice. We associate with each other 12 months out of the year, not just 6 months out of the year. We hash out our problems. We talk about our problems. We have all the same goals. We don't blame one another. We blame the team as a whole when things go south. And you know what, to be honest with you, this team, we've been together 7 years, and that's one of my most proudest accomplishments, is to keep a team together for that period of time. And if we stay together for another 4, that'll be 11 years that intact, that 4 individuals will stay together, and that is unbelievable, to be honest with you.
Yeah, in this era, it really is unbelievable. Was there ever a time in this past season when that was in doubt, that you might not stick together until 2010?
Well, there was a chance that Marcel was going to have to, go back. He had a tough decision to make to leave his job again, because our schedule is so difficult to work and curl. So he basically made a commitment a couple of weeks ago. He phoned the school board, and they've allowed him to basically take 4 years off of work again. So he was a final piece in the puzzle, I guess you could say, and we're glad to have him, to be honest with you.
So he's taking a 4-year leave of absence from teaching, is that?
Absolutely.
And do other work in the meantime.
Right.
Okay, and hopefully win a lot of money curling, I guess, too, right?
Well, that's the plan. Hopefully,
Right.
We've been successful the last 4 or 5 years playing together, and with our work ethic and the things that we do, I don't see why that would change dramatically over the next few years. So hopefully we can help him out a little bit.
Especially if we get that big World Curling Tour Slam event down here in the U.S., right?
I never heard about that one.
No, I'm just promoting it. It hasn't happened yet.
Okay, hopefully.
I'm pushing for it. Hey, you were a bit critical of the last Canadian Olympic Trials team selection process, just a bit, and the CCA has recently announced changes for 2010. Thoughts on the new format?
I wasn't that critical about it, to be honest with you. All I was concerned about is when a team wins 4 or 5 spots, they start out equal, and then a third-place team comes in. There's a lot of great teams in there, and everybody had equal opportunity to get in there, so that's fine.
And I don't think your criticism wasn't shared by some other people, too. I mean, I think some other people felt the same way. So.
Well, it was very similar to 4 years ago also with Wayne McDowell when he won 4 or 5 spots. But at the same time, they've listened to the curlers, and I believe they've made good changes. I'm not involved in it that much. Scott Pfeiffer on our team has had a lot of input into it, and he assures me that this is the right way to do it. So I'm gonna have to believe him and say it's a great system.
All right, so you're gonna go with great for right now, based on Fife's endorsement.
I got no choice.
All right, hey, it's run back time, and I guess since you've listened to the show before, you know what this is about. So I'll get started. All right.
You got it.
More likely to return next season, the Ferbey 4 vests or the Randy Ferbey mustache?
Vets.
Vests. All right. Kerry Burtnick's return.
Excellent.
John Meade's departure.
Sad.
What will happen when half of Canada lives in Alberta?
I think they do.
Odds on Pat Ryan unretiring.
Not good.
Best place to curl in Alberta that isn't Edmonton or Calgary?
Viking, Alberta.
All right, Viking. Isn't that where the Sutter brothers are from?
That's where they're from, and they got a great bonspiel there. It's called the Viking Fridge Spiel, where it's been in existence. Well, they re-erected it 10 years ago, and it used to be the Fridge Spiel where Hector Vey used to go, and it used to be just one of the best spiels in Canada to go to. It's an unbelievable spot to go watch curling.
So it's the Viking Fridge Spiel. Do you win fridges?
Well, they used to, and every now and then they do have fridges. 20 years ago or 30 years ago, that used to be the number one prize was fridges before they had these things. And now they got an unbelievable array of prizes there, and it's just something to behold when you go to that spiel.
Yeah, I only ask you that because it shows how curling's come, though. We're not just giving away fridges anymore. So.
Absolutely.
Hey, thanks for your time, Randy. Enjoy your summer, and hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to you next year.
Well, you too. You and your listeners have a great summer also, and we'll be in touch throughout the year next year.
That's Randy Ferbey on The Curling Show. Thanks for listening. Enjoy the pudding. Ooh.